Welcome to a special bonus episode of the ATL Arts Collective. We've got a treat for you today. Last week, we talked about the Let's Go Dancing exhibition at the Sun ATL by Atlanta artist Anna Jensen. The monumental project is a profound visual response to the songs of Georgia Music Hall of Fame inductee Kevn Kinney, who also happens to be Jensen's husband. 100 of his songs have been reimagined by 100 different artists, and Jensen has created a corresponding painting for each track. She's releasing the music into the wild through her own label, Tasty Goody Records. I went to the Sun ATL to tour the exhibition with Jensen and then had a conversation with her and Kinney. It was lovely. They are delightful together, very, very funny, and we couldn't fit the whole interview into last week's show. So here's the full uncut conversation for your enjoyment.
1, 2, 3, 4.
When did you get the idea, and how soon after did you actually start executing and reaching out to people?
Kevn and I were traveling to Nashville for him to do a song covering a Sylvain song for a tribute for him after he had passed away. And it was just so special. And I had the idea that, it's a shame that most of the tributes happen after the person's no longer here to witness. So I knew that Kevn's 60th was approaching, and so it just crossed my mind it would be cool to do something like that for him to experience the, acknowledgement and the appreciation. So
what year was it?
2021? It was like full-on COVID-ish time. Yeah. Because we had previously thought we might do a gathering at the Fox and have some friends come and perform and kind of make it a party concert kind of thing, but that clearly was not a possibility. So, but everyone was stuck at home, and they all had recording equipment set up for live streams and Facebook Live and all that stuff. So, I didn't feel guilty to reach out and ask for people to send in little video snippets, and it was over 3 hours of music, of video music that I presented to him in a form of a long video that made him very uncomfortable.
Well, let's talk about that uncomfortability. What was that like?
Yeah, very uncomfortable. The only part of me that could appreciate it was the part of me that it kind of is distant from who I am. The performer, like you hear from all the time, the performing me and the me. So. They want to sell. I mean, when I write songs, I definitely, I have they're like American self-help, quasi-political self-help, folk songs, and they make sense if you're born in America, pretty much, they're just normal tales. So, I think a lot of people can share commonality with them. I'm not really saying anything that is too radical. Just peacemaker with the people, with just being a normal. Like I say, I've been on the outskirts of being political, but also, I believe in a bigger picture of all of us. I was very naive when I was young, and I tried to hold on to that. So. But it wasn't really, I was very, humbled, I guess. My humility meter was on 11, and I hated it.
I think it put him into a bit of a shock. I don't even think he remembers the video.
And, I do remember it very well, because it was shocking.
Well, at one point, I actually did a song too, and he was like, "That's my wife."
Yeah, it was like, she said, "I hope you have a minute to sit down and listen to this." And I thought it was going to be like, "Hey, Kevn, blah blah blah. Hey, this goes blah blah." And then when like some people were doing full songs, and I was like, "Oh man!" And it was beautiful. I loved it. And then it was over. And then it isn't over.
And then it started.
Then my friends,
And it really
say,
started.
you know what, Anna, you need to got all these people's phone numbers. You know what you need to do is you need to have them record them and make albums. And I thought, okay, we're going to do one of those. And she says, no, I was thinking about doing 100. As 100.
That's not exactly how it happened. It kind of evolved, but yes. Well, I think once I just started to formulate the ideas about the proper compilation, I just was trying to pare it down, but he has so many really important songs. And so 100 was like the best I could do at capping it. And we're still leaving out a lot. So I don't know. It just seemed like a good even number, but I don't know that I knew at that point that I was going to have to do a painting for every song. So that complicated things.
Let's talk about that. So you produced an entire 100-song tribute series via your label, Tasty Goody Records, while simultaneously
painting all of the art for it. So I just am the type of person that's like, yeah, I can do it. And then I'll figure out how and, later, or I just making it up as I go along. I don't know. I've been through some stuff in my life that makes me feel like life is just so, I don't know. I just have a different approach to things, I think, than people that have been on a more linear path. I'm just like, why not do it? And so but I also didn't realize that I was going to have to do quite so much myself. Like I thought, surely with this level of talent and material being so amazing, like someone will be clamoring to put it out and it's going to make all kinds of money, which would make things easy because then I could hire help or, at least be fueled by the enthusiastic response or whatever. But it turned out no one wants to put out a compilation series because they don't make money, which I thought, oh, well, this one will. It hasn't. So yeah, I had to start my own label. That was a process I didn't expect, and it didn't. And then I had to find a distributor. At first, I didn't know what a distributor even was. I didn't know how any of this worked a few years ago, and now I know way too much. And and then having to crank out a painting every week while it was in full gear. I've been able to take a little breather for the past few months, but that was not by choice. It was, but it was good. Yeah, I needed it. So. But now I've kind of veered off into other interests to where I'm like, oh, I got to get back to that music stuff so I can get it through the finish line because we still have about 10 songs to go.
One of her biggest champions is this guy. He's a good friend of ours. His name's Lenny Kay. He is a guitar player in Patti Smith, but he's also a world-known writer. He's written books on music, and he put together this really famous compilation called Nuggets. Which is like every guitar player, every band has a copy of this record. It's a compilation of psychedelic music from the 60s, and that came out and it got cut out. Nobody wanted it, and then it got repressed again. And then it didn't do that well either. And now it's like the 50th year, and he's doing concerts all over the world for it. He's just kind of like encouraging to Anna. He loves his project. He loves Anna. And he's like, just be patient, because the good thing about it is that it's not, she's created something that will last for 20, 30 years. It'll still be a viable thing. And also, as these people get more and more famous, some of them might get super famous. Some of them might commit crimes. I don't know what makes people infamous or famous. But there's a lot.
A number of these songs could be great for like movies.
Yeah, and they could be great. And also, Anna, we have as far as money making, we have Anna has some put together some great charities. There's 4 specific charities.
Yes, the point is for it to benefit these charities.
And also, the musicians all keep their masters, so they can do what they want. We didn't go around collecting 100 masters. Well, like if a more unscrupulous company would have said, "Give me all your things," and then we own the masters, and then
a lot of Kevin's friends wanted us to do that because this was supposed to be looking out for him too. But
I'll be fine.
Yeah,
I don't need much. I need bird feeders and a couple non-alcoholic beers. I'm happy. But yeah. So I think but that's really great. So it'll help them. But also, Drivin, Cryin is a very unknown band. We're a popular regional Southeast regional band. We don't tour the world really anymore. We do one tour outside of the thing. So it's kind of neat thinking about people in Montana hearing about this. Like, who is this? I wanted to do a T-shirt like, who the hell is Kevn Kinney? You know, like, what is this all? That should be the cover of the last one. Like, who the hell is Kevn Kinney?
I don't think of you or your band as being regional or specific to Georgia because it's so huge here. I just assume it's like that everywhere.
That's what we're trying to make you think. But the reality is that we're going to do a tour, and we're going to do a lot of 200 to 300 people rooms. We'll have 300 people in them. It won't be like there's 3 people there. But yeah, we're not going to have, you know.
But there might be some shows in certain cities that there would only be like 30 or 40, right?
Yes, that is 15. Totally possible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just fine. But yeah, so yeah, the goal is to lift up his songbook, you know, just increase awareness, celebrate all the artists that are involved as well. And like, you know, Kevin has ideas about how we're going to continue to do that beyond this, like maybe do a podcast ourselves where each week we talk about a different song on the project and the artist. And, you know, because some of these people go back with Kevin 40 years. Some are newer friends. Some are people that I just loved their music. And so I asked and they just said yes. And it was like, oh my God, the Great Lakes Swimmers are doing a song and they're from Canada. So it's been really neat because I've gotten to interact with some of my musical favorites. And, you know, that was scary at first and it's still mind-blowing, but
very scary. When she tells me, she's like, yeah, I just got off the phone with X.
With fill in the blank.
Fill in the blank. I'm like, oh my God.
And he's like, that's like the biggest tour book.
Yeah, she's like talking with Frank Riley. She said, he used to book you, Frank Riley. I'm like, Frank Riley. He's like, he's like one of the most important booking agents in the world.
Tick somebody off or say the wrong thing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How'd you get him on the phone? Basically, it's like they called me back. I'm like terrified of reaching out to half of the. She's got Gordon Gano from the Violent Femmes.
Well, I landed Kevn Kinney, so I know how to talk to.
Well, that was a fluke.
No, people love Kevin, so he doesn't realize how much fandom there is out there among the music community. So besides audience, there, you know, he's kind and generous, and so he leaves his campground cleaner than he found it. And
I do. You know what? I love to listen to my friends' music. I always buy their records when the day they come out. I'll buy them if Darius has a record or whoever, just Jason Isbell, is like, I'll buy it and I'll text them and be like, I listened to this. I love the third one. You know, I'm a music fan. Always was. I wanted to elevate my music fandom to being a roadie, and then I started an underground newspaper in Milwaukee. I started this. It's still there. It's called the Shepherd Express. I started that with a friend of mine, a Milwaukee Journal writer, like 50 years ago or something like that. It's still there. It's like the Creative Loafing of Milwaukee. Wow. Yeah.
It's kind of like Creative Loafing.
Yeah, it's called Yeah, because I just love. I just want to get closer and closer to musicians. You know, it's like I'll be a writer, and then I became a roadie. You know, and then you know, then I started a band, and
you worked at the record store.
So I mean, I just wanted to go, and now I'm like, now that I'm been backstage, now I'm like, I don't go backstage like that.
And yes, at home he prefers to not talk about music, not think about music, and definitely not think about or talk about himself. And so this has been challenging to our household because he's just ready to have his wife back, his life back.
I like to play music.
And he likes to move forward. So I'm shoving his past in his face constantly and also reinterpreting it like visually in my way that isn't his way. So that's been something he's had to kind of just get used to, I guess. But I think we'll both be glad when it's over, but we'll also be glad that it was done.
I don't think it's going to be over forever because I'm starting a band based on this record. I talked with some people last night, and I'm going to start a band that is that does the reimagined versions of these. Because the thing that I love about this thing is like I can hear producers talking to me when I was doing these songs, and they would say, "You should do it this way," and I'm like, I couldn't really wrap my head around it. And then when Anna had these people do it, I'm hearing fresh, different versions like of it. I'm going, well, I'm learning. Like I'm saying, I'm spending most of my time in my 60s learning from younger artists and letting them produce me and then let it being so. So I'm excited about starting this project where I'm going to do like there's a song. The song that I love the most is the song called "Good Day Every Day."
It's the one behind him there, the David Ryan Harris. Yeah,
and I love it because he created a song that I thought was kind of silly. He created a version of it that was so different. It was like Prince.
It's like a banger, but
the same lyrics, but a totally different approach. And so I'm going to do a band where we pick 12 songs and a show and do my songs, but not the way I do them and do them the way they did.
That'd be really neat.
So I'm kind of excited about learning my own songs again.
But yeah, this song that he says is silly, though. There's lines in there that just give me chills. It's definitely not a silly subject matter. It's like, everything is really meaningful.
Makes a lot more sense the way he did it. Yes, he did. He elevated it. And that's been exciting to me is how elevated some of these songs
You definitely hear different words come forward in some of the versions.
I spend most of my time crying, listening to these. Like, she'll play me one of those.
They're really moving. Yeah, Peter Holsapple did a version of his song that we both were moved to tears. It was just so cinematic. And it's just, the songs mean so much to so many people and me very much. So to hear them given this kind of respect and a new spin on them has really been beyond special.
You touched on this when we were walking around, but with each one and having to do so many, how did you make sure that you kept it personal as you were going through them? And did you guys collaborate on images ever or ideas?
Well, I think that what I brought up earlier about having my own unique way of operating in the world, I think I can't help but make things personal. I just have lost a certain amount of filter between my brain and my output. And it's just something I guess I embrace about my artwork. So sometimes I will ask for his advice for a starting point. And it's fun to kind of see like his sketch that he'll do of what he had in mind and then what comes of it, like for that one in particular, of the David Ryan Harris one. He said, it's the stars are falling and that stars are, the sun is a star. So there's multiple suns falling down. But I didn't want them to be, super personal because I want them to be about the songs. But
that doesn't completely track with the art in general because your art does tend to be super personal. So did you find little ways to...
Yeah, I put little nods here and there, and I would in particular try to make things personal to Kevin.
In conjunction with this, there's going to be a show at the gallery at the Sun ATL.
Doors open at 5 and the show starts at 6.
What should people expect when they come?
Well, the only thing I'm guaranteeing is I will be here with my acoustic guitar and I'm going to be singing some songs. And then Anna has invited some of the artists to come. So whoever shows up will be sing a song or two and kind of it'll be a kind of a shindig hootenanny art opening. It's like another opening. Yeah.
I think we can say some of the people that we are pretty sure are coming.
Whoever is okay with you, yeah.
I'm pretty certain Abe Partridge will be here, who is an amazing singer-songwriter from Alabama.
What?
The Alabama astronaut himself.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the Brower sisters, they are a local teenage group, twins that are amazing. And they're one of the break, they're up and coming and they're still in school and stuff. But like some people have said that they like their version of the song better than the Drivin and Cryin version.
Well, they picked the song that Drivin and Cryin's never played
live. Yeah.
Yeah. We did this song. Geffen Records loved it, and they were like, record that one. So I did it, and then it wasn't my idea to do it, so I've never played it live. So they did it great.
But who else? There's someone that we can't say by name, but I'm allowed to give little sneaky hints that the person might wear some costume makeup they're of the taller variety of human. He or she is incredible and hilarious, and he's our friend. They're our friend. I don't think I could say that. Yeah, but it has to do with operating a motorized vehicle.
Well, anyway, it'll be a yeah.
It's going to be great. But yeah, I have a few more people I need to invite still. Actually, I definitely am doing more than one person should do, and things are falling through the cracks regularly, but I'm doing the best that I can. And I think it's for some bigger purpose that we will learn, that we will discover later. I mean, I actually am enjoying this process of producing a project like this, and yeah, being kind of in charge, and I do have a lot of opinions, and it's good to be able to see them through. It's been fun to, like, for instance, suggest which songs people do. So sometimes on a few cases, some people have like a firm idea of the song they want to do, but in a lot of the times I will provide like just a small handful that I can just see would be a good fit. So yeah, it is fun to like see that when I'm right. Yeah. Like Mike Mills telling stories. I think that was my idea, and I felt like that was a good fit for him. And
yeah, there's Edwin McCain, who you might know.
That I never would have guessed.
If you ever walk through Kroger or Publix, he's got a song called "I'll Be" and another song called that Diane Warren wrote. He's got some really great love songs that are huge hits.
He's a crooner.
And me and him do this duet of this song called "The Friend Song" that we do. And she was like, I was like, well, did he say he was going to do the Friend Song? He's like, yeah, he wanted to do that one, but I had him do something different. I said, really? So he did like our most heavy metal song we have called "Rush Hour." And it is fantastic. And it's on the same side of the album as the Black Crowes. Here, the new one that just came out is like the Black Crowes, Edwin McCain, Deer Tick. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, I know what it sounds like, so it makes a perfect fit. I'm just glad that people could see that side of him, because.
Well, he wanted to do Powerhouse, but it was already done, and I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to have people repeat songs.
Right, so. That's right. He wanted to do Powerhouse. That's
right. But Kevin's old friends. Well, that is the only one that repeats because it sets the tone for each installment. So yeah, we have a country version and a hard rock version, and yeah, each record starts with a different version of "Let's Go Dancing."
Well, 15 years ago, when Drivin was going to do their 25th anniversary record, we had
started on this.
We started on that like 25 years ago. We were like, "Hey, we're going to do a tribute." We asked various people like Darius and other people like that, and I think 90% of the people came back were like, "I want to do Let's Go Dancing." And Patterson Hood, that was the first thing he said. I said, "Oh my God, Let's Go Dancing." And then it was like we had like 12 people. We asked, 10 of them said yes, and they all wanted to do Let's Go Dancing. Nice. I don't know if I ever told Anna that, but yeah, it's a
fantastic song.
I guess so.
Yeah, it's a David and Goliath song. It has a really great message.
I did play it for this friend of mine worked with us at Island Records, and his name is Grady, and he's this amazing drummer. I didn't know how great he was. He worked at Island Records. He was like an intern. I don't know what he was doing there, but he worked with Kim Bowie. Anyway, I saw him on tour. I went up and saw Emmylou Harris, and in between, she went to give the band a break, and he came running over to me, and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He goes, "I am her drummer." He's like, turns out that he's like one of the world's greatest drummers. Anyway, he said he played it for. He said, "I played your record for Emmylou." And she got up when she came backstage later. It was like festival or whatever. And he said, I said, Emmylou. He said, Emmylou, this is Kevin. And I said, he wrote that song that you were digging on. And she goes, "Oh, that's great." She goes, "Disco Dancing."
She said, "Yeah, I love your song, Disco Dancing."
So I was like, "Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
You do not correct the queen." You go, "I am changing the name of that song tomorrow."
Yeah. We will have to do a disco version.
So now we should do that. We should get like an ABBA cover band to do a 666.
That'll be my next project. Disco versions of all your songs.
Emmylou, we can tell people though, Emmylou will not be here tonight.
No, she won't. That we know of.
That we know.
That would be cool. She's my queen first.
So I was going to close by, saying that the exhibition is on through May 23rd, but what do you hope lives on after? But now I fully understand, like, you are still very much in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I thought we were cutting it at 4 records. It turns out I'm going to do 6. So we have a pretty big act that's doing the 5th Let's Go Dancing in a very unique way. I wanted to have some female coverage of the song. So it took me a while and finally did land a couple of great artists to do that.
Amy Ray did a great one, a version of a song that I just wrote. Like, she's the only one.
No one else had recorded it yet.
Yes.
So that came out as a single, and that will be on one of the upcoming albums. Yeah, so there's just so much material. Not everything will be able to be on a physical product. Part of that is just the financial limitations. But also, like, I did want this to stop at some point before people are like, when is this Kevn tribute ever going to end? Like, what the heck? Because I think some people are confused, too. Like, is he dead?
Cookie. Jesus.
Can he just have a Goodwill trophy and be happy? He actually does love Goodwill trophies. But anyhow, yes, because there's so much art, and for my 20 plus years of being a visual artist, I know they don't sell like hotcakes, especially not in this climate that we're living in. So I will most assuredly have work left over after this exhibition, and I would love to take this to different cities. So I used to live in Asheville for 6 years. That's where I kind of established myself as an artist. I could do a show there. We could do one in Nashville. Kevn's friend has some friends that are interested in helping facilitate that. I wouldn't take, this would be the biggest show. We'd probably take, upwards of 30 pieces maybe, but
I also don't know what's going to be left over.
You never know, especially after this podcast.
Is there anything else either of you want to add that we did not touch on?
Should I just mention the charities quickly?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the charities that we will be supporting through spreading awareness, but hopefully financially as well, is one is called Out of the Woods Foundation, which is Shelley Colvin started based on her son, Judge, who had a terrible injury from a tree falling. So it's for kids. It's to help kids who are dealing with brain and spinal cord injuries. One is called How Big Is Your Dream, which was Ike Stubblefield's affiliated charity, and that is a youth empowerment organization, I believe, based here in Atlanta. And Ike Stubblefield played the keys on Underground Umbrella, which is on the new record that just came out, or that's coming out. Yeah, it just came out. What's the other one? Sims Foundation, which is Alejandro Escobedo's, and that helps with mental health and addiction in the music industry. And then one Tom Gray suggested, which is Farm Link, and it partners farmers with food banks to help with food waste and find enough food insecurity. So very different charities, but really great causes.
So we want everyone to go out and buy
the records.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a place that someone could listen online?
They're all available on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all the places. I think they're on Bandcamp as well, which I hear is just now partnered up with Amazon in some way. Yeah. There's something about it, like maybe just to like spread the word about the artist's tour schedules or something. I just got some notification about it today.
They did seem like one of the purest platforms.
Right. Hopefully it won't mess with that. But yeah, they're available streaming.
Anna Jensen.
So AnnaJensenArt.com, that's ANNAJENSEN art.com, or Tasty Goody Records, which is TASTY GOODY. Also Merch Mountain. You would look at the Drivin and Cryin page on Merch Mountain. They have everything that we sell. You get a signed copy of the cover art when you buy it there. But yeah, Tasty Goody Records is maybe the more affordable option to buy records.
People come to the show tonight, they'll be able to leave with something.
We will have records, CDs, prints. They could leave with an original. These are a great investment. They're only going to go up in value. And so, yeah, I would love for everyone to leave with something, even if I have to give it to you for free. I will give you a print. I won't give away paintings, but CDs and prints, talk to me. I'll be there.
Feel I'll never find
Thanks, Kim.
Dear John, where are you? I know you're out there somewhere. Got a hurricane in my pocket. No one will believe me. With a bucket of tar on top of the flower. Somehow I knew they'd try it, deny it, defy it, and buy it. Let's go dancing. Let's go dancing. Said the firefly to the hurricane.
Anna Jensen's Let's Go Dancing exhibition is on view at the Sun ATL through May 23rd, and more information is at sunatl.com. A new ATL Arts Collective comes out on Wednesday, and I'll be joined by comedian and guest co-host Joel Byers. Till then, thank you for listening.
Put a mountain into with a flake of snow.